I would like to welcome Toniya Singh, who represents our business, management, and interdisciplinary graduate programs. Toniya.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start by setting some expectations. Sharon and Colleen are among the best of the best. It's all downhill from here. Bit of good news. Took me 54 years, but I finally found my favorite little black dress. Shopping is so stressful anymore, isn't it? I don't like shopping anymore. I used to when I was younger. It's like gambling. Especially online. Nah, not for me. Speaking of gambling, let's talk about the staff and administrators of Antioch University Midwest. If they decided, listen, we've earned our keep. We're going to take a vacation. We're going to go to Vegas. They'd taken a few shows and then go play some slots like one does. The house would come down and invite these people to sit at the high rollers table. You know this table from James Bond movies. It's by invitation only. It's in the back of the room. Obscene amounts of money going back and forth. That table. That is where you would find these people because they have what it takes to be there. They have the courage. They have the vision. And they have a huge pair of dice. And they're not afraid to roll the dice on a 52-year-old that comes to them and says, I'd like to attend your master's program, please. I did my undergraduate not too long ago, about 30 or so years. I did it in another country. Indeed, all my formal education has been in another country. And oh, by the way, the subject that I'm applying for has never been part of my higher education, and I've never worked in the industry. Think about that for a second. If any one of us walked into a job interview or a relationship with credentials so far removed from what we were seeking, how many would run the risk? They did. The last time I experienced this kind of support for my education was in 1985 from one man, and that was my father. He's not here with us on this earth today, but wherever he is, I hope he's listening because, Papa, this is for you. I'm forever indebted to that man. He helped me lay the foundation on which this moment was built. To put it in context, I was 21 years old, and I suddenly found myself single with a 3-year-old. And I remember being very scared. Women in my position in India were associated with words like pity, sometimes suspicion, often ridicule. And if I had anything to do with it, my son was not going to be raised around those words. Sounds great, doesn't it? The problem was I had gotten married right out of high school. I didn't have any means of raising this child. I had no means of earning an income. I really had nowhere to go, so I did what the honorable thing that I knew to do. I returned to my maternal home. Mom and Dad were kind enough to open their arms, their hearts, their home to Karan and I. Others were not that pleased. And their displeasure kind of got worse when I asked my father to send me back to school. And they offered helpful comments like, it's a waste of your money, man. She's not the academic type. And then there was my personal favorite, she's just looking for an excuse to get out of the house so she doesn't have to look after the child. Fortunately for me, my father's trust in me was absolute, his love unconditional. He said to me, ignore them, you go to school. So I go to school, 2 months into it, there's a midterm, class of 14, 13 people passed, 1 failed. Yes, I was that one. Now I'm not only worried, scared, I'm also contrite. I just made profits out of the people that had warned us. So I returned to my father, profusely apologizing, sad, crying. And he heard me out, and he said to me words that I never thought he would say, because when I was going to him, I had prepared myself for both eventuality. At worst, he would have said, yeah, that was a waste of money. At best, he would say, it's okay, honey, you tried. What he said to me was, honey, why don't you finish what you started? I'm thinking, what is he saying? Now he's saying those words to me, and my ears are hearing, let's get it on record that you're incompetent. But 2 months before that, he had shown me absolute faith. And I could do no less than to return the favor, so I returned to school, and indeed I finished my undergraduate, this time top of my class. Thank you. For the next 30 or so years, a lot of life happened. A lot of life happened. Some of it was great, some of it I learned from. But all of it reminded me that perhaps the kind of support I got from my father, I should not expect outside of his presence. 2012, I was laid off from a job. They downsized. And as one does, I started to look for other work. 5 years and over 400 applications, no job. Now that's just the application part. There's follow-up, there's email, there's networking, there's volunteering. There is no stone that I left unturned to find myself employment. In 2017, I had entered the business end of 50. And I thought, what have I not done? What have I not tried yet to find myself eligible to be employed? And the only thing I would come up with was that I maybe should get a degree from this country. So in 2017, I sought admission to a master's program. I applied at multiple colleges, universities. It took me across 3 different states, and they all turned me away. In their eyes, I was simply not qualified for a master's program. Now, mind you, I'm of the school where I finish what I start. So I would have gone to 50 states if that's what it took. Fortunately, I only had to go to Yellow Springs. And they said, come on in. And I was incredulous. And I asked them, master's program? Yes. Healthcare leadership and change? Yeah. I dare not ask a third question. Not only did they find me qualified, they reminded me that I could do this, and I could do this well if I only held up my end of the bargain. And if I was being honest with you, that was near every day. Because mind you, I was the one that had failed 5 years into it. This 30 years had gone by. You want to know abject terror. Your handbills today have some examples of their graces. They're infinite graces that helped me to put one foot in front of the other, come back every single day, bigger, better, bolder, ready to study. With all that said, let me tell you, these people take no prisoners when it comes to challenging their students. Try telling Dr. Malarkey or Hayes Moulton that your head hurts because you're reading so much. And they'll tell you, good, it's working. Or try going to the polite Canadian, Dr. Lundy, and saying, Dr. Lundy, I have 2 final papers and 2 presentations and a speech besides, all on the same deadline. And he'll tell you he's very excited. Never once did the Canadian say sorry. And then perhaps Dr. Baker will invite you to represent your class at commencement. And as you're writing your 20th page, double-spaced, you get a letter in the mail that tells you there's a word limit. But Chancellor Groves mentioned the Antioch DNA, and by golly, I have it. Challenge, schmallenge, I say, bring it on. I am a full-fledged Antiochian now, and in being so, I feel up to any challenge because I learned from the high rollers. Horace Mann had more than one quote, and I found one that was so fitting for my speech today. He said, and I quote, "Education alone can conduct us to that enjoyment which is at once best in quality and infinite in quantity." End quote. And I have no doubt in my mind Horace Mann is opening up a bottle of champagne somewhere because his successors still afford their students both these things in immeasurable proportions. For that and so much more, I am forever in their debt. And so I say to our extraordinary provost, Dr. Glancy, to our respected Chancellor Groves, and to our kind and patient and intrepid faculty members, you have collectively shown me how to make possible that which conventional wisdom deems impossible. My presence at this podium is a very small measure of the power of your reach. And to you, ladies and gentlemen, I say, we are so honored and so grateful to have you among us. For me, you have been the difference between words on a paper and a highlight of my life. Thank you for the privilege of your time.